Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Friday, March 4th, 2016. This is Texan TV News from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Cassie Stafford. Today's top stories. In campus news, award-winning actor and Tarleton alumni George Kennedy died on Sunday at the age of 91. Kennedy is primarily known for his roles on the big screen in movies such as Cool Hand Luke, In Harm's Way, Lonely and the Brave, and many more classics. However, Tarleton remembers him as one of their most prized students. Kennedy attended Tarleton State College almost 73 years ago in 1943 at the age of 17. He attended TSC for the Army Specialized Training Program and studied engineering. While on campus, Kennedy lived on the 3rd floor of Davis Hall and attended drills directly in front of Bender Hall. Only 8 months after starting his college career, he was sent to infantry training to be a fighting force in World War II. After serving his time in the war, he went on to be the famous actor most Americans know today and visited Tarleton several times throughout his acting career. In sports news, the Tarleton State outdoor track and field season is officially underway after last night's Joe Gillespie Invitational meet at Stephenville's Memorial Stadium. Tarleton State, Angelo State, East Central, Eastern New Mexico, McMurray, Dallas Baptist, Cameron, and Ranger College attended the Invitational. It was no surprise that Tarleton athletes performed well in their home stadium. Texan TV News spoke with some of the winners from last night about their race, who they think their biggest competition will be, and how it feels to run for Tarleton State.
It was good. I kind of just tagged on the back of people, and then at the end tried to kick and was able to get the win, so I'm happy about it. It's good strategy, so it's what I plan to continue on throughout the rest of the season. I was happy with how I did today. As for the first one, I got a PR going into it, and so now the next couple races just keep taking off the time from each event. There are a couple Angelo girls that were right there with me through the 15 and an 800, and then there's some Eastern New Mexico has a couple strong runners for the 800, so they'll be definitely people to watch out for.
I'm pretty pleased with it, happy. You know, it wasn't a very fast race. We went out slow and just finished like I could. One of my buddies from Adams State, he was a national champion last year in the mile indoor and then the 1500 outdoor, and he's sitting #1 right now indoor in the mile. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So it'll be fun racing him. I mean, it's an honor. I mean, it's been my lifelong dream growing up to be a collegiate track athlete, and thankful for this university giving me the opportunity to run here, and the abilities that God has given me. I'm so happy to be able to showcase them here at this university and run for them. I'm really happy.
I was excited to have our first outdoor meet here at home, so it was nice to get the win in front of a little home crowd. It feels really good. It's a lot. I like being back here in Texas. I was in Louisiana, but I just like the feel of Tarleton. It's like a little family. I don't know, it's really nice though. I think it'll more so come down to people in our region, like the Colorado schools. They're always really strong. But my goal is to get to nationals, so I'm just going to try to use them as motivation.
Haley Dennard and Chase Rathke both won the 800-meter run last night, and Allie Coughlin won the 5K. For more results on last night's meet, go to www.tfrrs.org. The Tarleton track and field team will continue the outdoor season on March 26th at UTA's Bobby Lane Invitational. Between now and then, Deasia Hicks-Boyce and Chase Rathke will run at the Indoor Championships in Pittsburgh, Kansas on March 11th through 12th. In regional news, 3 Stephenville schools were put on lockdown around noon yesterday due to an active shooter alert. Stephenville police received a call around 12 p.m. about a disturbance and possible shooting on the 1200 block of North Dale Street. As a precaution, Stephenville PD ordered nearby Gilbert Intermediate, Henderson Junior High, and Stephenville High School to be put on lockdown. While no evidence of a shooting was found on the scene, 2 men, a woman, and 2 children were detained in a home shortly and then released. Stephenville PD and the District Attorney's Office are working together on potential charges, and the investigation is ongoing. No arrests have been made. In Texas news, astronaut Scott Kelly of Houston returned to Earth with Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Kornikov after a 340-day mission at the International Space Station. The trip was to prepare for future trips to Mars and was the longest an American has ever lived in space. Kelly told the crowd at the Ellington Airport near the Johnson Space Center in Houston that it's great to be back in Texas on U.S. soil. Kelly said the station was a magnificent place he will miss, but he was also looking forward to being back on Earth. On their journey, the astronauts traveled 144 million miles through space and performed 400 experiments. Kelly stressed that there were thousands working on the mission and that he and Cornico were a small part in setting the stage for Mars. In national news, prosecutors are getting heated in Baltimore, Maryland, after a school police officer was caught on video assaulting a young man inside Reach Partnership School. The incident is being investigated closely with the city's police department and the school police in order to identify the officers involved. After being informed of the video, Chief Akel Ham says that both officers were placed on administrative leave with pay. The AP reports that City Schools CEO Dr. Gregory Thornton called the officers' behavior completely unacceptable, saying he was appalled and disappointed by what was depicted in the video. The victim has been identified as 10th grade student at Reach. Attorney Charles Gilman says that the teen was a little traumatized by the incident. In international news, the United Nations Security Council voted earlier this week to push sanctions against North Korea. The sanctions were imposed against North Korea because of its recent nuclear launch and nuclear tests in defiance of international sanctions. These are the most severe sanctions that North Korea has seen in the past 20 years. The sanctions include a ban on all sales of light weapons and small arms and inspections of all cargo entering and leaving North Korea. North Korean resident Song Hyo says no kind of sanctions will ever work on us because we've lived under U.S. sanctions for more than half a century. For more national and international news, we turn to the Associated Press for the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. All of the remaining Republican presidential candidates are promising to support whoever gets the nomination, including Donald Trump. The pledge came at the end of a debate that included frequent brawls between Trump and Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. North Korean state media reports that leader Kim Jong-un watched rockets fired with a new long-range missile system. One day earlier, North Korea fired short-range missiles into the sea. Health officials are trying to track down the source of an illness that's linked to 18 deaths in southern Wisconsin. It's called Elizabeth Kingia, and 44 cases have been found in southern and southeastern Wisconsin. Baseball card experts in Southern California say they've verified the legitimacy of 7 identical baseball cards featuring Hall of Famer Ty Cobb. The century-old cards were discovered in a paper bag in a rundown house. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
Now we go to Morgan Cavett for the Stephenville weather.
Thanks, Cassie. It is a sunny day outside here at the Trogdon House. It's currently 64 degrees with 33% humidity and a wind speed of 9 miles per hour. Today has a high of 76 degrees and a low of 48 degrees, so you might just need a light jacket. Spring break is upon us in Texas. It looks like you may need a raincoat this spring break. It's going to be rainy Monday through Thursday of next week with a high in the 60s. Back to you, Cassie.
Today's broadcast was produced by Morgan Cavett, Corey Todd, and Sydney Burns. You can follow us on www.texannews.net. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook. I am Cassie Stafford. Tune in Monday, March 7th for the latest news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.